So I wanted to start out this video with a little bit of a story for Detroit Red Wings fans. Our story takes place 10 years ago, in October, heading into the 2015-16 National Hockey League season. Now, I seem to be one of the only people that happens to remember this, and I've tried to use the Google machine to find the sources as to where this video segment was 10 years ago, but I can't find it. It's lost media at this point. But I remember specifically, heading into the 2015-16 season, TSN analyst Craig Button going out there and talking about the top two players of the 2015 draft, that year's selection of players, and how Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel were both superstars in the making. Well, I happen to remember 10 years ago, Craig Button went out there and said that in that same class of guys, he also had Detroit Red Wings first-round pick of the last year's draft, Dylan Larkin, as somebody to keep your eyes on. And this was like, it's kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Oh yeah, McDavid and Eichel are going to be so good in the NHL at 18 years old, but guess what? The Detroit Red Wings had a guy that Button was labeling in that same tier of player. Even though he wasn't an 18-year-old, he was 19. He had wrapped up a season with the Michigan Wolverines, and then he played for Detroit, scoring 45 points in 80 games. Now, in 2025-2026, it seems like Craig Button has been proved right. Because Dylan Larkin, in the 2025-2026 season, is out there with 11 points in 6 games played. He's on pace for 150 points on the year. Say what you want about whether or not that's going to happen, but man, he is on pace for it. He had 4 points in the last game against the Edmonton Oilers, got a point on all 4 Red Wings goals. He has scored a point in every single Detroit Red Wings game so far this season, and he's a double point per game player in his last 5 games. If you take a look at what happened yesterday, the NHL revealed their 3 stars of the week, and Dylan Larkin was named number 1. Look at that graphic by the Detroit Red Wings and their social media team. It's so beautiful. But Detroit Red Wings center Dylan Larkin, Vegas Golden Knights center Jack Eichel, and Colorado Avalanche goaltender Scott Wedgwood have been named the NHL's 3 stars presented by Geico for the week ending October 19th. Now, Jack Eichel has been a monster in his own right, and the fact that he is also experiencing a breakout of some sorts this year at this time for Vegas, it's kind of poetic when you think about how Larkin is right behind him in terms of points. Connor McDavid and the Oilers have been struggling hard, so it's kind of difficult to label Connor Mac as being one of those impactful players at the moment, at least. No doubts that he's going to bounce back. It's McDavid. If he doesn't get 100 points, I think that's when we're going to have to start being concerned. But Jack Eichel, just for reference, has 16 points in 7 games to open up the NHL season this year, and he is on pace for 187 points, if you do the math over 82. He leads the NHL in scoring, by a long shot. He's above everybody else. Scheifele, McKinnon, Nylander, that aforementioned Dylan Larkin. Who knows how much Eichel is going to be able to score with Mark Stone out for a while, but D-Larks, D-Boss is finally back in the mix as being one of these bona fide top centers in the National Hockey League. Craig Button called it a decade ago. Even though he wasn't necessarily going to be a superstar right away, and the Red Wings back in 2015-16 had a number of names that were ahead of Larkin on the depth chart, just now, this guy's really starting to come into his own, and if he continues at this pace, I don't assume he's going to get 150 points on the year, but if he gets 90, if he gets 100, then, you can kind of hear me smiling as I'm speaking into this microphone. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it be? I know a lot of Detroit Red Wings fans are salivating at the idea of Dylan Larkin providing 50-something points for the Detroit Red Wings in 2025-2026, and Lucas Raymond could be right there with him. Raymond isn't eligible for 82 points, he missed a little bit already, but still, he's there. Interestingly enough, if you want to take a look at it, when was the last time the Detroit Red Wings had a 100-point scorer? Well, you kind of have to go back a while. And I mean, a really, 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 really long while. Extending beyond even past the playoff drought. The last guy who got close was Pavel Datsyuk in 2009, who had 97 points. And then even then, if you go back even further, like, Datsyuk never had a 100-point season with the Detroit Red Wings. He had back-to-back 97s, but that was about it. Sure, scoring was a lot worse. It was down in those years that Datsyuk was playing compared to how it is now. Everybody and their mother gets 100-plus points now if you're a top-tier superstar. JT Miller's a 100-point guy. So is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Like, that's the NHL that we live in right now. But the last 100-point scorer in Detroit Red Wings history happened to have been none other than the recently attributed Sergei Fedorov with 107 points in 78 games back in 1996. That was a long time ago. And if D-Larks can do something that hasn't been done in Detroit Red Wings history since then I think we can have ourselves a ball watching this team, right? Plus, the Red Wings, I mean, you want to talk about the streak, you want to talk about them being in the mix, they're literally tied for third in the NHL in points. And by points percentage, they're also tied for third. So, lots to like out of Detroit this season, baby. Not saying anything's guaranteed, but, yeah, if Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid can make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, could D-Boss? No, that's a really big leap. Oh man, we just went from talking about Eichel and McDavid and Larkin having the same impact, and it's not like he hasn't been impactful the past few years, it's just now it's like, wow, he is literally near the top of the league in points, and his impact is unmatched. He's getting involved in almost every single goal this team happens to score. There's a lot to love out of Dylan Larkin, folks, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the way he has started out his year? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, the dislike button is down there for you as well. Congrats to D-Boss for making himself known as the NHL's first star of the week. The first star of the week accomplished by a Detroit Red Wings player in over a season, I think. Last one was Alex DeBrincat, like 2024 or something like that. First star, not just star in general, but it's been a hella long time. I think a lot of Red Wings fans are happy with how this season has gone so far and are just excited to see things continue. Hopefully. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button because likes help out with the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it if you got involved there. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.